Okay, folks, let's get all the settings here where we need to be. It's been such a long time since I've done this. Just give me just a second. This is in the wrong place. It needs to be on the left-hand side of me. I'm not going to knock something down on the left side. Oh, I go running my mouth. Yeah, I am excruciatingly right-handed. Let's see. We're going to go here. Okay, we need to go here. And we need to go here. And save, and now we can come back. Okay. All right, so we'll talk about that in a second. Let's get some other light here so we can operate the proper way. And I might as well charge my phone. Now, this should be a little bit better resolution than we've been getting because we're not streaming off of a phone. The phone gets, even though my phone is probably more powerful than the computer from the standpoint of, I don't know. Yeah, probably. I think I can do 8K video on the phone. I can do 4K video on the computer. I'm not doing either one of those. That would take forever to upload, etc. Anyhow, I digress. So back to this little guy. Now we're going to try to operate with readers. We better clean them. Try to operate with readers. What is all over these? Like I haven't been painting. It's like little splashes of something. There we go. Black splashes. It's alright, none of y'all are on here anyways. I forget, Friday nights are usually slow, but... Okay, so this morning we put the front of these tracks and we ran out of time to do the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually bend this and try to install these. We need this over here. There we go. So it's not truly separate link track, it's separate sections. And I was actually kind of impressed how well it worked. I still would prefer to do the separate link track. I'm not creating all this stress on these pieces. But I was able to make the curvature, and if it breaks off, I'll just re-glue it. You know, but it was able to handle this curvature. And it looks like it actually might be a little bit long, which is good. I don't mind being a little short, but it's got to be down here in the middle where we can cover it with goop on the base. What's up, Lens Connect? Connected. My land's connected. Or in hiding. All the way up there, and who knows when they're going to come out again. I take it you probably have some armies that have some lens connect in them. Yeah, why are you so slippery today? No, we're going to have to take a piece off. All right, so let's remove this. Let's take this last one off. We're not going to destroy it, though. There we go. Yeah, and it still needed it. That's all right. So then the issue is that this isn't soft enough and it's not making the curvature properly. All right, well, this just takes a little bit of patience. Although that's what I've noticed is there's a lot of people that are not interested in the Renaissance period. I'm not one of them. You know, I think people aren't interested in wargaming. People that are war gamers aren't interested in wargaming some periods because I think there isn't a connection. I think they feel like there's no connection. That's why I don't. Well, that's not going to work. That's why I don't play American Civil War games. Well, that and I don't like the period. It's like a period of people with funny hair, funny mustaches and facial hair, and it's not my people. My people weren't over here yet. My second wave of people weren't over here yet. Let's put it that way. And I like the Renaissance period because the people of my country of origin were badasses in that period. And then, you know, we invented inflation and, well, the rest is history. The way, you know, somebody from Poland probably likes playing the winged hussars. I don't blame them. Everybody likes playing those guys. They look cool. Let's put the piece back. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. It's faster. It's faster than the other way. But I actually like putting all the little pieces out and laying them out, and it's kind of gooey, and you can. The first time I did it, I actually did it on live, and I was like, huh. I'd never done it before, but I have a hell of a lot more patience than I used to have. All right, there are some extra pieces here. Okay. There are ones that are for the extra tracks. So we don't want to use, see, the ones in the 20s are all the ones in the track, so it's the one in the 40s. So it's either end. So it's this one on this end and this one on this end are just the additional pieces of track. Man, I got on here pretty quick. I was hoping to catch some of the Brits before they went to sleep. In particular, Ben. I was having my dinner apple. That's what I've been doing this whole week. I've been having a snack when I get home, like apple, pretzels, something like that. Having a cup of coffee, get me fired up to do this. Then I do a bunch of this stuff, and then I eat later. Because if I eat now when I get home, about 8 o'clock, I'm ravenous. So part of me wanted to go into the airbrush station and airbrush some stuff this evening. And the other part of me goes, you know, it's too fucking hot. Maybe we should do that in the morning. So maybe that's what I'll do in the morning. You need some Aussie friends. Oh, I do have Aussie friends. But I have something to say to Ben when he's here. I was watching a video of the game that he recommended, and it looks pretty good. If only it was on sale. All right. So I guess you don't have any Renaissance armies? There's no way your name is 1525. You say 1525, and the first thing I think of is the Siege of Vienna. To me, the Siege of Vienna is the 1525 siege, not the one in 1678. No, the first siege. But 1525 is also Pavia. I guess that's the way you say it. I've always called it Pavia. I've been binge watching the Fat Electrician YouTube channel. Is he fat for electrician or fat for a gamer? They might actually be the same thing. Be like the fat plumber. A plumber that's not fat is probably my size. I don't know. There's probably a skinny plumber. But I don't show my ass crack. Battle of Pavia. Well, I actually have on my command stand. I actually have a Frundsberg. I have a Frundsberg figure. And did I pay Charles the Fifth or not? I have a figure for him. I can't remember if I did or not. Thought I got around to him yet. I don't remember. But I got a Frundsberg guy with his Frundsberg flag and supposedly a figure that represents him. Looks like him. It's a one from... Oh, shit, man, I can't remember anymore. Man, you leave 15mm stuff for a while and you just forget. I can't remember. I can't remember, but they make some character sets. His channel is American History, mainly World War II. There's a lot of really good channels out there, but man, there's a lot of stuff out there that's excellent that's not on YouTube. I've come across a lot of really good stuff this week. Just this week, excellent stuff. Real granular stuff. That's what I like. I like granular things. I don't want to read about Patton or, unless it's, Patton almost got assassinated or something, or, raid on Patton or something like that. If I want to read about Rommel, it's, that incident where he dashes to the wire, has to spend the night in his command vehicle, and there's Indian troops just outside his door, and they don't, that kind of shit. I like granular crap. Somebody had recommended him before. It might have been you. Fat electrician. I wonder if he gets a lot of people that are electricians going, oh, you're not going to go over circuitry? Fuck you, The most popular video of his was a naval action in the Persian Gulf called Operation Mantis. Why does that sound familiar? I like making videos, but God, I don't even mind editing them. I hate uploading them. That just takes way too freaking long. Or I call crunching them. Like, okay, this video's ready to go. All right, do your magic. To break it down into packets. That takes forever. So, my favorite thing to watch, I forget to watch them, is 3D Bot Maker. Does die-cast car. I mean, that's just brilliant. That is just absolutely brilliant. I love that stuff. It's hilarious. I've seen other people do it. They don't do as good a job as 3D Bot Maker. 3D Bot Maker is superb. I mean, whether it's the regular races or the ones that have the jumps in them to get big air, or whether it's the demolition derbies. The demolition derbies are hilarious. Best channel on YouTube. Easy. And I'm not even a car guy. I should have recommended that to whatchamacallit. He was Dan. Is it Dan? No, somebody else came by and they were a car guy. The Detroit guy. Wow! Well, that's the thing is, I can't work over this because I have to lower this so low, then I'll just end up fucking up my neck. So, I'm running the risk of not screwing up my neck. And just running the risk of dropping it on the ground. Let's just take a moment here. It was in the 1980s when Americans destroyed the Iraqi Navy. Well, the only thing I remember that happened in the 1980s in the Persian Gulf. Remember, in the Persian Gulf, in the 1980s, the U.S. was more pro-Iraqi than it was pro-Iranian. Because, the Iranians had done all the hostages and all that shit. And, And then they had that whole attack on the Stark, right? What was that, 1988? That was a... Shit, let's check my thing. That is an O.H. Perry class ship, I believe. I believe it was an O.H. Perry. I don't think it was a Knox. I think it was an O.H. Perry. That was what, a Iraqi Mirage with an Exocet or something like that? I want to say that's right. Oh, sorry about that. That's when the Iran-Iraq war was going on. And the U.S. favored Iraq. For better or for worse. And I don't know what the hell's going on in the Middle East or whatever. I'm not a big fan of paying attention when it's asymmetrical warfare. I kind of lose interest. Actually, I don't listen to any modern stuff because it's so twisted. It's so like, modified from reality. No matter what the source, it's just like it's not worth listening to. Iranian Navy, okay. Yeah, Operation Mantis sounds like something that involves like little rubber boats or something like that. Like the Iranians would come up and they'd be on the Persian Gulf patrol. They'd come and fuck with the ships and taunt them into attacking them. And all the mantis, none of the praying, not praying mantis. Is there another mantis other than praying? Ben, there you are. I was invoking you. I was rubbing my magic lamp, trying to invoke you. So I watched half of a video that this German dude, he might not be German, but he sure as hell sounds like it, did on the Mias thing. And it looks pretty captivating. So let me ask you a question. I'm not going to get it until it's on sale. But if I got that, do you think that's worth something, making a video for the color commentary I can provide, or is it just kind of a little too abstract? I'm afraid that you tell these guys to move these places, and then you just hit play, and then you go to certain parts of the battlefield and see what happens. Like, you can't tamper with what their orders are once you give them to them. And then, you play that, and all right, let's stop, let's rewind, let's go to this other place, maybe where they're taking a village. Is it that kind of a game? Which is okay if that's the kind of a game it is, but if that type of a game is, I don't want to play that by myself. That's totally a color commentary game. That's all right, we're going to do this. All right, now let's go over here to Vokelnikovo and see what the hell's going on. Oh, shit, that one KV came through the town, and, if it's that kind of a game, it's almost like I'm making these orders and there's a mini movie that plays. I watched about half the video. It was kind of captivating. I think it'll probably be worth $20 or whatever. I'm disappointed that they don't make a Wintergewitter one. But the snow stuff looked good, although it's probably those damn SS guys in the snow. The Rune folk. Rune folk and the Kharkovness. Ah, shit. I didn't check which way it was. Yep, I did it the right way. Good. Which way the little track patterns. Stuff that only I care about. But I was intrigued by it. And I don't want to just get it now, even though it's not on sale, play it for a little while, and then return it, knowing that later on I'll probably get it when that's just too much trouble. But I am intrigued by it. Now, it is kind of neat that a lot of the scenarios they have are actions that aren't well known. So that would bother some people. That doesn't really bother me. It's an opportunity hey, maybe we can wargame that. You can tamper with orders depending on the settings, but you only command down to squad and individual vehicle level. And it's not pixel perfect like in Total War or that Ostfront game. So it's like close combat, You could tell the tank what to do, but you're not in every position. Well, that's fine. Moving and actually firing the gun, that's a bit extreme. That's like, I'm probably going to give it a try at some point once it's on sale. I thought it was on sale, but I'm paying no $30 for it. It seems like it's not a very stressful game. Like, I wouldn't want to play. So the same people that made Steel Division, which I saw that before I had a computer that was fast. I was like, man, that's a game I'd probably enjoy. But I played the demo for it. Not the demo for it, but by the same people, they made this thing that's called like Operation Red Dragon, and it's like modern in Korea. It's too stressful. It's like, go over here. You don't get left alone for a second. It's like, you come over here and check this out and bring another reinforcement. Hold on. Oh, they're coming over here. All right, move that guy. It's like, Jesus Christ. I did send you the Steam request. Yeah, you say go here and then take up a logical position around that area with a type of order given strongly influencing it. What's the Steam request mean? Is it like some discount or something? That sounds all right. I mean, I don't mind, enjoying it. Oh shit, what's that guy doing there? I don't need to be a control freak. I could enjoy the chaos. Oh, we have extra flash here? That's a weird ass looking flash. It doesn't look like flash. The last computer I had before this one, Steam was just becoming a thing. And now it's like that's all there is, pretty much. And I don't really dig the whole cloud thing. I'm not anti-technology. I'm just anti, why do you always moving the football crap? Like they keep reinventing shit. And I'm like, dude, I don't do that for a living. Friend request. Well, I didn't see it. Well, I haven't been on Steam. I mean, I fired up the computer. I haven't been on the computer in like, I want to say a week. Maybe even longer than a week. Not here, anyways. But how's this stream quality? I'm just gonna stream off the computer. Because it's better. It should be better. It should be 1080 instead of 720. And then I got my phone to surf on. And we went ahead and put it vertical where supposedly get more exposure, but who knows if that's true because the view count's about how it would be before when I had the normal settings. To get more views if I do different stuff, yeah, but then it's frustrating. So just to prove how the runes don't line up sometimes, I haven't gone over and game with Mitch because it just doesn't work for me. So now their Monday night is Tuesday. They apparently game on Tuesday night. So my big problem is they just don't give you any warning. Like, we're going to do something. What are we going to do? I don't know. We'll see when he shows up. I'm like, nah, it's too much work and it screws up my whole week. But he said, hey, we're going to have this multiplayer game on in a couple of weeks. I'm like, cool. That's what I need. Like some freaking time to, plan. And then come to find out it's Tuesday now and it's the same fucking Tuesday that my model meeting is. Which I realized that today. So I'm like, well, yeah, I'm still going to come by, but I'm just going to hang out because I'm going to a model meeting. It only happens once a month. So, shit happens. Quality's better, but it's not the vertical that does it. It's being classed as a short stream that was attracting. Correct. Yeah, that's why I'm doing it vertical is to attract the short thing. Attract all the short people. And I don't want random people. I want people that are like interested in this shit. I didn't know about your channel. You know, I mean, random people can do it as well, but you know, I mean, I don't look at random live stuff. So it does look better. Good. Well, that's the important thing. And then this one has a gap, which that's fine. We got extra pieces to track for that. I'm gonna cut this little thing off too. Do I play Chain of Command? I've played once or twice. I've said this before. If I had to play a game that is fairly common that people know about, it would be Chain of Command. Chain of Command is the game I almost played but don't. I have played it. It doesn't quite scratch the itch. I would have to modify it. There's a couple things I don't like about Chain of Command that don't work for me. And I don't mean that they suck. I just mean that I want things that are more granular. Yeah, I'm not going to... I'll watch the videos. I've actually watched a lot of Chain of Command videos. Enough to, you know, the ones that are played by Richard Clark. And the little... He plays against some people that I wouldn't want to play with. They're shaky and they're trying to get away with something. But anyhow, yeah, I've watched several of their videos, probably 8 or 9, and I've played it once or twice. I like the activation where you roll dice and you can't do everything you want. I don't like that when you take casualties, you can kind of pick who it is. I mean, unless you get an important figure, all riflemen are the same. And, like, that doesn't drive a good narrative. That doesn't drive a narrative where it's like, oh, Langer survived again. You know, like there's a story being built within the story, which is a big draw for me. It may not be a draw for anybody else, but it's a big draw for me. And the vehicles need a hell of a lot more detail. And I don't like D6. I'm not a fan of D6 stuff. And I don't like where it's like you got a Stug here and it's his time to move and he can move like it's like all or nothing. There's too much. I mean, it's okay. It's better than Flames of War. It's better than anything that I see people playing these days. So it's the game that I almost played. I'd go to a convention and play it. I'm not going to build stuff for it. I'm not going to learn the rules. I actually have one of their books, and I was disappointed when I got it because it has some what I would call major errors. So you have this thing where it's like somebody will come up with maybe a rule book or a scenario book for something. You think, maybe these guys have access to something to make realistic scenarios on whatever the theme is that I don't have. So I just kind of defer, like, you guys should be the experts. And then you buy this thing and you realize, well, that's a stupid error. Like, I would have never done that. I mean, I make mistakes, but I wouldn't have allowed them in the order of battle for Wintergewitter, that's the one I have, for them to have a Panzer III Flamme, because everybody who's anybody knows that Panzer III Flammes didn't come out until, like, Kursk. So, like, I see something like that, and I'm like, that's kind of I think it's an obvious mistake. So what else is missing? So I get those scenario books, and I'm like, man, these guys ought to know better than I do. And you're just like, man, I gotta give myself more credit. I want to get things right, and that's a big part of it. If you don't want to get things right, or you just want to put out product, well, your heart's not in the right place. But with that said, I think it's I don't want to be the guy that I can see that it already has loopholes, and I don't want to play a game that's a certain way and then realize it has loopholes and have to still deal with it. I'm fully modifying stuff. So if I had to play Chain of Command, I would play it and then add more detail where it's needed. But there's a lot that's cool about it, you know. Um, we played one that was Japanese. Mitch and I played. We were Japanese, and we had to fight some. It was like on New. I think it was on New Guinea, and we had to fight three Matildas, and we had nothing that could deal with the freaking Matildas. Like, if you got to fight the Japanese, the Japanese have to fight the Matilda, and it was. I wouldn't say it was open ground. It was relatively open. It wasn't a. If they didn't advance enough, it was like, I'm not going to be able to attach a bomb to it or something like that. I got to run at it and detonate something on my back, on one of my guys, but they would have gotten shot before they ever got too close to it. But it was a fun game. We may have had a 47 millimeter infantry gun and a tank gun, maybe. We definitely had a 75 millimeter or 70 millimeter howitzer. That couldn't do diddly dick to it. So, but it's a good game. I don't like the codex mentality game, especially with a game like that has so many codexes. Because if I was going to get it, I'm like, okay, what do I start? Or is this a special rule? It's hidden in some kind of rule book that I don't have yet. And, it becomes overwhelming. But spending almost 20 years playing a game that we had to play the way it was written because it was a tournament game has really changed my outlook on. I'm just not doing that again. I'm not putting up with something that all of us that are playing agree should not be that way. We're just going to play it the other way. Yeah, no, that's not why I disliked it. It was okay. I mean, that's probably the shit they encountered in New Guinea. But I've watched several gameplays of the games. I certainly like the beginning of the game where you don't know where it's going to start. That's cool, like the game within the game. And I love games where you can't do whatever you want. I love that. Okay, because as long as the other guy has the same problem, but I'm kind of more interested in the narrative. Like, I'm fine never playing Face of Battle per se. Like, I'll just run it. I'm not interested in playing Face of Battle to beat other people. I want it to be a narrative, and that's what motivates me to build more shit for it. And I should say the core of Face of Battle, because if I encounter something I don't like, and I like most of the game, I'd say I probably like 95% of the game, which is pretty good. But if something doesn't feel right, I'm not going to play it that way. It's not like I'm being sponsored by them or something. You know. But there's the version 2 of the Face of Battle that came out, and I've looked at it, and they dumbed it down by taking the percentile off on many actions. Not all of them, but many actions. So I still have the version 1 of the rules, so I'm perfectly happy still using the one. One of the things that they did is they took the movement step for the vehicles down from, and this is just from a cursory glance, from 10 to 5. Okay, I can actually get on board with that, you know. Imagine the movement step for everybody is in 5 steps instead of 10. Instead of, like most games, have 1 step. So I think there's still going to be enough chaos to manage. So I'll probably give it a chance the way it is and just see, like, I like this, I don't like this. The morale could be simplified. I just want percentile when it comes to, like, shooting vehicles at another vehicle. I want that granularity. I have to have it. Otherwise, it's like, what tank is it? Russian tank. Which one? Green. No. You wrong. I'm not spending this kind of effort on this kind of stuff and then it not be relevant in the game. Is it important to everybody? No. But this is my religion. So But chain of command is not bad. It's a little overwhelming. I'm surprised that actually they can play it as fast as they can because it's fairly detailed. That Sarah be a face of battle? I did not say that. I definitely did not say that. You're dying for one, huh? The wife lead. It's a lot of work for me. I need to play it here. This is a good location for it because I can leave it set up forever. The lighting is superb. Plus, I have additional lights. I've done it. I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not. Chain of command has rolling for moving, which many people don't like. Some people are control freaks. I don't mind not being able to control things. I don't want to be able to do everything I can every turn. Like Flames of War. There's so many vehicles that move exactly the same fucking distance every turn as other vehicles that it just seems like it's generic. It's so freaking generic. You know, I don't like taking a game that has a lot of round pegs. And round pegs might be, okay, what tank is it? It's a Sherman. No, is that an M4? Is that an M4A1? Is that an M4A1 with wet stowage? Is it all that stuff and just going American medium tank, boom. And then just putting that, and then that's a huge appeal for me. I also don't like when they just put random stuff in there and it's just for the sake of just saying it's random. Like, for instance, there's a set of rules that I had called Final Combat. And Final Combat is almost like a role-playing game. I would say it's more, it pretends to be more granular than the Face of Battle. Like, you roll for your characters, you can figure out, where they come from, their background, their eye color. Okay, so you roll for these characters for the eye color. And when it's time to roll for your eye color, you roll a d6. 1 to 2 is brown, 3 to 4 is green, 5 and 6 is blue. And we all know that that's not the fucking percentage of people having brown eyes. Okay, it's bullshit randomization. That's not like, should be like, 2/3 of a chance of being, brown-eyed, whatever. If you're going to go through, so it just pretends to be granular with no reality thrown in. Like, you're just fooling yourself. Like, just do away with that, and it's, Now, how many links is this going to be? 1 or 2? I mean, 2 or 3, sorry. So there's so many things that were in that rule. I'm like, man, there's rules for everything. And then, like, the percentages on everything were evenly split. It's like, we know that there's the chance of a thunderstorm is, but it's like the thunderstorm is the same percentage chance as it being clear weather. I'm like, exactly like 50-50 or something, just to use an example. I'm like, well, that's just BS, Doesn't appeal to me. Let's put that down. I think we're going to go with 2 links. Now, I'm actually going to save that link. I'm going to put it together with this one. So, the very first time I used vehicles in the Face of Battle, some of you might have seen it. The very first vehicle I write the data sheet for is the Panzerjäger 1. The very first one I put is the Panzerjäger 1. And the very first data I write down, there is a critical error in that it's shown as having a 2-man crew. And it's not. It's a 3-man crew vehicle. So I'm like, right off the bat, like, now I get it. There's a lot of moving parts and things can change. And I don't have a problem with them. They're human. What I do have a problem with is like, no, that's what the rules say. That's how we're going to have to play it. Like fucking hell. What did we do? Lose the other one? No, they're right here. Now we lost the other one. Fuck you. I ain't bending over. I'm not at work anymore. I'm not bending over anymore. How's my saying go? If I'm going to get bent, I'm going to pick the hole. It's the weekend. It's hole picking time. Brown eye. No, I got green eyes. I'm elite. That's the least likely. I mean, I guess probably somebody has yellow eyes or something like that. It's probably even less likely. Catman or something. Meow. Pussyfoot. Right back. Let me go grab a soda. No face of battle. I promise not to play it without filming it, though. I absolutely promise that. I don't want to play it, but, there's cool shit that's going to happen. There's some really interesting... I mean, the games are so interesting. That's why I'm actually okay playing Mias if I tell things what to do, and then things happen that are out of your control. Because that's where the hilarity ensues. And the only problem I have with the Ostfront game is, the last time I played it, it seemed like it was not working. It was working very jaggedly. And that's unfortunate, because there's a lot of different ways to play that game. One of them is, just start a 2-on-2 with the computer, and you show up as the third player, and you're like, I want to be a commander in a T-26 or something. Like, maybe you're building a T-26, so throw yourself in a T-26, and you're just an extra T-26 that's on the board. But it was working. It was running pretty jaggedly last time. And it's just one of those things, I think, as your computer ages, the ions or whatever don't work as well. It doesn't, it picks up, and I don't use my computer I use it for this, and I don't surf on it. I use it for very limited things, because I want it to last. And, it's not that old, but things crap out. But I'm all about the narrative and laughing about shit that happens. I don't want to play, not stupid stuff, but, sometimes there's some really unusual stuff that happens. And it's a shame not to share that with other people. Round eye, brown eye. Oh. This just takes a little bit of coaxing. This will look just fine. It's funny, this one was this side had exactly the right amount of brackets. And then this one had issues. Yeah, nothing major. But like the Face of Battle, the second edition, has like no weapons data for any of the vehicles. Oh, it's coming. I'm like, okay, well, I still have the first edition. And a lot of this stuff is still written in the same way. So it's compatible. And besides, we've got the web anyways. Like, they don't have a T-50, right? Like, maybe you have a model of a Russian T-50. It's kind of a rare tank. Cute little rare tank. If you got other tanks around it, you could make your own stats for it. Now, there is a T50 in the basic game, but if, like, for instance, you had like the T34 that had the 57 millimeter in it. Have I built any? What's up, Dan? Have I built any UMC M10A kits yet? Well, now we got our phone, so we can search on this. That sounds like a modern vehicle. What's this? All right, sorry, that was my daughter had texted me from Spain. UMC M10A1. It's ammo. M10A1. Oh, I know what you're talking about. UM M10A1. No, they're too expensive. They're too fucking expensive. They're like, by the time you get them, it's like $30. No, I have not. I would have had they been cheaper. I'd have picked up 4 of them. Did I have a fun Cinco de Mayo? Well, that is the anniversary of getting engaged. Coincidentally, many years ago. No, we didn't do anything. Did you? You celebrate the peasants beating on some French? Because everybody thinks it's Mexican Independence Day, and it should be. Nope, it's just a battle where they beat the French. Órale, chingón! I'd rather celebrate Pavia, where we beat the French. Now, Cinco de Mayo is not a day I would go out and do anything on. I mean, and I like tequila and tequila things, but what kind of a shit show is this? Let's straighten this out. This just takes a little bit of coaxing. Just like St. Patrick's Day, I never do anything on St. Patrick's Day, and I got nothing against that. It's just always, if it doesn't fall on a weekend, well, that's not true. I always do a St. Patrick's Day painting. But, like, go out and drink. I don't drink. I don't have anything against it. I'm a better person when I drink. I'm a hugger. You ate a ton of tacos. Man, tacos just aren't what they used to be. Yeah, you got nothing but taco food where you're at, man. And you don't know Kevin, huh? Because you guys are both Arizonians. I'd like to go there one day. I had a friend of mine that everywhere he went, he was in the army, and everywhere he got stationed, he was surrounded by your wife's birthday, St. Patrick's Day. Well, there you go. Shirish? I had a friend of mine who was in the army, and he'd say every place he got stationed was just ate up with Mexicans. And it wasn't that they were Mexican. It's just that they just act like, what the fuck are you doing in my country? I'm like, no. Like the people that I end up having to deal with at work, the ones I like the least are the ones that speak Spanish. And it's not because they speak Spanish. They just have this attitude of like, I'm not going to learn. You got to do whatever. Screw America. I had a guy one time that said, fuck the United States. I'm like, you know what? He never got checked out. He got banned from the place. You can keep that shit to yourself. You know what? You can hate the United States and still be here. I just don't need to hear about it. You know? She's Sicilian. Okay. You just found 4 in your stash from years back, and I'm about to start on turret interior. Looks nicely detailed for an open-top gaming piece. I'll take them from you, no charge. No, the M10s I got, and they don't have very good detail, are the Armor Fast ones. And I got them for £9.45 sterling in Gibraltar for 2. And I have a 3D printed one from Chad. See, Chad will 3D print one for $12. So why would I buy one that's $28? Now, if the 3D printed one was $28 and the model was $12, I'd buy the $12 one. Like I don't mind building models, but they're just too expensive. Like, there's several places online you'll be like, man, that's a good price on the model, and then you add the shipping, and it's like, oh my God, you're crucifying me, you know. But yes, I would like to have. Well, I have 3 of them now. I have 3 M10s. None of them are complete. I haven't really started building them, so to speak. I've got one kind of started. But yes, M10s are perfect for this game because they're open-topped. And it's a good-looking vehicle. I think it's a good-looking vehicle. It's funny. Everybody would agree that a Hellcat is a really good vehicle. But I like the M10 better. It's better looking. There's something about the Hellcat. I don't know what it is. Like the turret's too far down. It's too squat. Something about it. Doesn't look perfect. I prefer the look of an M10. Especially, there's some photos of M10s look freaking badass. All right. Ready for me to get you salivating? You're getting ready to work on them, so. Let me pull on my squadron. Now that I have all my books organized, my squadron signal book on U.S. tank destroyers. There's one photo, and you see just something about the Hellcat just doesn't. I don't love how it looks. Not saying it's ugly. It's just something. I don't know. I don't love it. Let me show you this picture of this M10 that is just salivatingly sexy. I love all the junk they put on them. As I said, I don't like American. The problem is they don't make it. You gotta put. I mean, the Hellcat's got good running gear. I don't really like the Sherman running gear, but I don't know. The M10, where's this one? It's like a shot from the back. I think it's in this book. This looks freaking badass. Let's see if I can find out where the hell the video is here. Let's see. Good Lord. This one right here. That looks freaking badass. And I don't love the performance of that 76mm gun. But I like the American stuff. Because it's an opportunity to take something that's theoretically boring and make it look unboring. You hid the lack of detail in the past with tarp covers made from glass lens wipes and netting made from gauze. Yep. Oh, and they look good, all like doctored up with shit. I don't like when they modify Shermans and other things like that with concrete armor. It looks like ass. And I also don't like when they build like this, and you know what I'm talking about, this like sandbag retaining wall thing. That looks terrible. Okay, I'm fine with logs on the side. I'm not building retaining wall sandbag things on the side of. I'm fine with sandbags on the front of them. I don't want a retaining wall. It looks amateurish. You know? It looks amateurish. Okay, I think we got this where we want it. Still can't recommend these models. They would drive a child would just go nuts. Like, I ain't building models anymore. This is bullshit. And it kind of is bullshit. You know, some of these molds look like they're made out of plasticine. extra tracks there. All right, where do we go next? We're putting the moufleur. Now, why are you giving me two moufleurs? Eastern European people that don't know how to do shit. What is it? There's 26 and there's two of them, and they're not halves. How freaking weird. Okay. Does one of them match this? Well, I got another. Neither one has. Okay, well, this one has a zigzag on it, and this one just has a straight pipe and a zag. Which one is it? The straight pipe. Like this one. It's this one. This plastic's a little soft, which is good and bad. It's good for taking off flash. I'd rather just not be any flash in the first place. It's not going to rain today, is it? No, we are in the cocktease of droughts. Oh, it's going to rain. Nope, not going to rain. It can rain all you want now. It's rain this evening. I call bullshit. No, those kits look awesome. Yeah, I've looked at them many times, and it's by the time you add the shipping, they just cost prohibitive. I built one thing. Yeah, all around, but just avoid us. The panhandle's getting nailed with wet stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a dragon kit after this one to get the taste out of my mouth. It's funny because the one that this reminds me of is it reminds me of the PST. And the PST was an interesting model. I have a JSU 152 that I got from PST, which I think is Russian. And I got them right from them as soon as the Iron Curtain fell. So I got around 1991, 92, something like that. And it has a lot of detail. And it also has a lot of... How can I put this? It has a lot of detail that has a lot of flash and is crude, but the fit and finish on it is pretty crisp. It's just kind of like just a couple different extremes there. All right, before I do that, I'm going to put this box, because it might be difficult to get in there. All right, the box... The box is just above the mufflers. which means it's this one. Where's that box? What box? The box for you to stand on and kiss my ass. And these pieces are so close to the armature that you can't get these nips in there in places. Nips? You mean Japs? No, not this time. So this little box is going to go like so. I'm going to put that down first, then I'm going to put the muffler over it. Now, my daughter gets back in 2 weeks, so there'll be less hobby timing. We're still going to do the mornings. The mornings are a sure thing. Everybody's asleep in the morning. We'll just lose some of the evenings. And that's fine, because half the time I'm freaking tired anyways. Like Memorial Day, we're not going anywhere. She's having a bunch of people welcoming her back. So I may have a fair amount of hobbying that I can do that weekend, but it's going to be, girls giggling in the background. Okay. What else do we got? Got a couple little toe hooks there, which is piece 24. And probably mismolded. 24. Now, that said, I'd buy this again for $2. I'll buy that for $2. Yep. So it's on the tool thing here. Yeah, like it's got good detail on one side. And the other side is completely flat. These tools here, the little toe hooks. I'm too tired to be chasing that shit. That'd be the first thing to fall off the tank anyways. Could be like this one, doesn't have any. Never came with any. Okay. This one's done. And this one's done as well. Let's go and put the turret together, and there's a lot of flash. I'm not looking forward to putting the fenders on. I can already tell you, I'm not looking forward to putting these damn fenders on. Let's go do the business end of this thing. Let's see if we can get this in here. Ish. No, finished it. Man, I drink a lot. Just non-alcoholic. Just habit. Yeah, speaking of round peg in a square hole. Square hole. Round peg. Maybe they did it on purpose there to hold it taut, to get a good purchase on it. So one thing that I'm going to paint sooner rather than later is this guy. And this is how I got this. There's some kind of remote controlled tank, and it scales to 1/72nd scale. It's got some RC bullshit RC thing in here. And we're going to dust this thing off and then repaint it. And we're going to make this a Tunisian tiger. So I've been looking at some detail in the last couple days. Some on the tiger. On the Tunisian tigers. And that whole olive thing, I think it's BS. So I did pick out what colors it's going to be. And that's probably what I'm going to do with this thing. Since it has all of... I mean, I guess I could do it one for Kursk as well, but... I'd rather do it for Tunisia. I buy tanks for Kursk. I'm not going to buy a tank. I'm not going to buy a tiger for Tunisia. Wow, it gives you the turret thing here, and it doesn't give you any markings or anything to put it on there. You're gonna have to do your own research where it goes. Well, I got an example of it right here. Okay, so the hatch opens. That way. And there's not a vertical thing here. Oh yeah, there is. You have to add it yourself. And no markers for it. Alright, I'm going to go take a tinkle. I'll be right back. tinkle taker. All right. And I got some gum while I'm at it. Okay. Yeah, a lot of primitive shit on this thing. Speaking of Sicilian, that's one of those campaigns that just doesn't interest me at all. Sicily just doesn't interest me. $23. Where the hell's 23? It's on the turret one, okay. Can't be. It's got to be 26, 36, 41. It's got to be this. And doesn't have a top on it. The light is the biggest problem. I'm creating some of my own shadows. I need another light from this direction. Okay, this is the periscope. And it's wanting to attach something to the top of this thing. I think it'd just be too damn tall if I did that. Oh, I don't see 22 written on it. I'm perfectly happy leaving it like that. Could have been something they just combined it later. Nope, here it is. There's a little cap on it. Okay. That's on front of the turret. It's funny that I don't think the gun installs from the inside. Now, this thing has flash galore. The Czech 37mm gun, slightly better than the German 37mm gun. A little better muzzle velocity. But that's not saying a whole lot. Like the Panzer IIIs that had the 37mm gun had a worse performing weapon than this one. The difference is the Panzer IIIs have a 3-man turret, where this is a 2-man turret. You got the commander doubling up also as a gunner in this tank. This just glues right on the end. I bet you got to feed this in through the back. Or maybe not. Primitive ass instructions. And this is just smooth parts fitting on smooth parts. It's like if you want to do like conversions or something like that, this would be a good model to do, because it's not like you have to fill in any pinholes or anything. We don't want to be shooting at aircraft. There we go. And that Czech machine gun, whatever the hell it is, ZV something or another, is a coax. Which was a pretty decent weapon. Except it's another caliber. Not the same caliber as the MG34. Ever so slightly different. No, bigger than that. takes so much longer to put this together because there's so many things that you've got to clean flash off and make work. Yeah, it does stack out pretty far. It's kind of like in a cradle. All right. That's it for the turret. Okay, and we got all kinds of crap we got to put on here. Well, let's go ahead and put the fenders on here while nothing's on it. So much extra flash there, I can't even get that piece in there. Same thing on here. And the rest of these we can clip off. A couple little brackets. I think I know where those go. I think they go up here. Okay, and this meets the top of this. I'm gonna have to trim some of this track off. Can't say I'm a fan of these. This should fit around this, and it can't because this track is too high. question is, how does it fit on the other side? Let's trim this up a little bit. Yeah, so this doesn't fit. And it's not like there's anything that's in the wrong damn place. It just isn't. It doesn't fit. Bend those little posts down a little bit, see if it gives me enough clearance. I mean, it's got to fit underneath this vision block. All right, let's do this. Although I don't think this is where the big problem is. All right, let's go ahead and remove that. See if we got a better fit now. Because you got to get underneath that little block, that vision block to begin with. We'll come up with a solution that'll work. Now, the only way I'm going to get in there is if I make more space. The only way I'm going to make more space is if I bend these posts down, running the risk of breaking them. Well, I think we've got it to fit there. Now, before I glue this, and then it comes off while I'm doing this twisting, do the same thing on this side. All right, so let's remove some of this. The problem is actually the vertical clearance where this vision slot is. And I mean, that's where the wheels go. I mean, they're on posts. Can't really go anywhere else. It's just too tall. Well, this one doesn't fit terrible on that side. I don't think that one fits terrible either. We're going to glue it in place there. I'm actually going to leave it pried in there. Good evening, 3 viewers. Those tow hooks are useless. Shouldn't have even bothered putting them on there. Okay. Yeah, it can't fit into where it's supposed to. So we'll just do the best we can. That looks like it's coming undone a little bit. Well, it'd be a pain if you had like 6 of these to build. Okay. That's the whole machine gun. And these little things that I put in here earlier, these little clamps, probably won't fit because they go over the front of this. But we'll give it a shot. There we go. Well, let's see how close it gets from the end. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. It goes towards the end. Let's see. Let me grab one of my Plastic Soldier Company ones. Okay, it's pretty far towards the end, which that's pretty good. Okay. That means it's going to be something along the lines of like this. All right. Oh, we never glued the bottom on it. Aha. Yeah, it's not fitting in the front here, so. All right, that's better. push it all the way in, is I don't want that accidentally like drip off, and the next thing you know, you got a turret that's stuck to the chassis and can't turn. Okay, I do see that little like light. I wonder if it's this piece right here. 39, yep. Okay. The horns on this end. That was all that was left on here, right? Yep. That goes in the garage. Here's the little horn. Does it come with a post? It says it's got a post underneath it, but I don't freaking see one. A lot of these, like these guys, these 3D print, there's a lot of details they don't have. I mean, even the Plastic Soldier Company one doesn't have a horn. It's not, I don't feel like it's missing it. It almost looks better without that. Wow, that little box doesn't even fit there. This thing is fraught with all kinds of problems. I'll tell you what. How close are we? Not that close. Not that close at all. It's a little too big, I think. Well, that did it. I think I put all you guys to sleep, man. I haven't had a comment in an hour. Well, then I'm probably going to shut down then here. We'll be back in the morning. I need to have dinner anyways. And we'll continue some of this, whatever it might be. All right, folks, have a good evening. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.